Shanti, Baba's Sakar Murli, 12th of September 2022. Essence. Sweet children, your number one enemy is Ravan, whom you have to conquer with knowledge and the power of yoga. You definitely have to become Satopradhan from Tamopradhan. Question. What most subtle and deep aspect have you children now understood? Answer. The most subtle aspect is that this unlimited drama continues to be shot second by second. It will then repeat after 5,000 years. Whatever happens now also happened in the previous cycle. It continues to happen according to the drama. There is nothing to be confused about in this. Whatever happens is nothing new. The drama reel continues to turn, second by second. The old continues to be erased while the new is recorded. We continue to play our parts while they continue to be shot. No one else can understand such deep things. Song. Salutations to Shiva. Shanti. You children heard in the song that there is just the one support to liberate you from sorrow. It is sung, the remover of sorrow and bestower of happiness for all is one God. That one definitely came and removed everyone's sorrow and gave you children your inheritance of peace and happiness, and that is why he is remembered. However, because the duration of the cycle has been shown as very long, people are unable to understand anything. You know that the Father gives you your inheritance of the land of happiness, whereas Ravan gives you the inheritance of the land of sorrow. In the Golden Age, there is happiness, and in the Iron Age, there is sorrow. It is not in anyone's intellect who the remover of sorrow and the bestower of happiness is. They understand that it must definitely be the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. Bharat was the Golden Age. It was the kingdom of Lakshmi and Narayan. Even though they say this, they have also heard from the scriptures that there used to be Kans and Jarasandha, etc. there, and this is why they are not consistent in what they say. You know that all of this is a play. It is in your intellects that it is Ravan who becomes your first enemy. At first, you used to rule, and then you went on to the path of sin and lost your kingdom. Only you Brahmin children know these things. You don't pay attention to any other enemy. The one whom you consider to be your enemy is not in anyone's intellect. You have to conquer this enemy, Ravan. He is the number one enemy of Bharat. Shiv Baba only takes birth in Bharat. This is truly the birthplace of the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. People celebrate the birthday of Shiva, but no one knows what Shiva did when he came. You know that Bharat was the highest on high land. It was the wealthiest of the wealthy. It was 100% healthy, wealthy, and happy. No other religion can be as healthy. Look whom the Father sits and explains to. The innocent, the hunchbacked, and the ordinary. Those who are wealthy just stay in the happiness of their wealth. You are the poorest of all. Otherwise, it should be important people who study such an elevated study. But no, it is the poor and ordinary who study it. If you haven't studied any scriptures, etc., that is very good. The Father says, forget everything you have heard and studied. I am telling you new things. The number one enemy is Ravan, whom you children are conquering with knowledge and the power of yoga. The Father really did teach you Raja Yoga 5,000 years ago, through which you attained a kingdom. The Father is now teaching you Raja Yoga once again, in order for you to conquer Maya. This is called knowledge and the power of yoga. He says to souls, remember me. God is incorporeal. He definitely has to come to teach you Raja Yoga. Brahma is an old man. He is at the end of the last of his many births. There are many people in Bharat who relate the Gita, but none of them would tell you that you have to conquer Ravan, the vices. No one can even say to you, constantly remember me alone. It is only the Father who comes and says to you souls, become soul conscious. The more you become this, the more you are able to remember the Father. From Tamu Pradhan, you will accordingly also become Sadhu Pradhan. You know that you were Sadhu Pradhan deities. We have now become devilish. Our 84 births are now complete. This is the final birth. You children know that the Father is explaining to you. He alone is the ocean of knowledge and the ocean of purity. At this time, he makes you equal to himself. This knowledge will have disappeared in the Golden Age. They won't even understand that the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, gave them that kingdom. On the path of ignorance, people say that God gave everything. There, they don't even think that. They begin to experience their reward. If they were to remember God's name, they would at least remember, Baba, you gave us a very good sovereignty. However, they're unable to explain when he gave it or what happened. There is a lot of wealth there. Aeroplanes there are foolproof anyway. What are you children concerned about? And what is the world concerned about? You know that theirs is physical power, whereas yours is the power of yoga, with which you conquer the enemy. No one apart from the Father can teach you Raja Yoga. The Father says, I come and enter this one at the end of his many births. I entered him in the previous cycle too. I named him Brahma. Baba sent names for all of you children. you were given such first-class names. Baba would not even be able to remember so many names. Just look at how much chaos people continue to create in the world. You have to sit here in silence and remember the Father. This most beloved Mother and Father says, "Children, first of all, conquer this vice of lust." That is why the festival of Raksha Bandhan has continued. You have this Rakhi of purity tied on you. These festivals, etc., won't be celebrated in the Golden and Silver Ages. All of them will start again on the path of devotion. The Father inspires you to make a promise at this time. If you want to become a master of the pure world, you definitely do have to become pure. Remember me, and your sins will be burnt away in this fire of yoga. From Tamopradhan, you have to become Satopradhan. Some still fail, and the symbol of that is shown with Rama. However, there is no question of violence, etc. You are also the warriors who conquer Maya. Those who don't conquer Maya fail. Instead of becoming 16 celestial degrees, they become 14 degrees. Some are Satopradhan, and some even become Rajo. In the same way, the status in the kingdom will be number-wise. Those who call themselves Brahma Kumaris and Kumaris are the ones who claim a right to the inheritance. Of those, it is only the ones who have made effort and inspired others, and also done service to make others the same as themselves, who claim it. From Tamopradhan, you have to become Satopradhan in this last birth. This is a spiritual furnace, brackets bhatti. The furnace you had in Karachi was something else. This furnace of yoga is different. This is the furnace of the power of yoga, in which all the rubbish is removed. There, you were in your own furnace, and you didn't meet anyone. This is the furnace of yoga. You have to make effort on yourselves. You souls understand and listen to knowledge through your organs. It is souls who carry the sanskars. For instance, Baba gives the example of those who are in the army. They carry those sanskars with them. They engage themselves in war again in their next birth. In the same way, you children also carry your sanskars. Those people go into the physical military, whereas those among you who leave their bodies come into this spiritual military. They go to settle the accounts of their karma in between. There are many like that. You mustn't ask the Father about each individual one. The Father would say, "How would you benefit? Just remain engaged in your own business. Just think about having your sins burnt away. Offering bhog, etc., is fixed in the drama. Whatever happens, second by second, is shot in the drama. Then, after 5,000 years, the same thing will repeat. Whatever happens now also happened in the previous cycle. It happens according to the drama, and so there is no question of becoming confused. Whatever happens, It is nothing new. The drama reel continues to turn second by second. The old one continues to be erased while the new one is recorded. We continue to play our parts while they are being shot. These subtle things are not mentioned in the scriptures. You children, first of all, have to have the faith that the Father is the one who establishes heaven. Bharat truly did receive the inheritance of heaven from the Father, and it has to be explained how you then lost it. This is a play about victory and defeat. Those who are defeated by Maya are defeated by everything. People consider wealth to be Maya. In fact, Maya is the 5 vices. If someone has wealth, people would say, he has a lot of Maya. No one even knows that matter and Maya are 2 separate things. You can even write in the magazine, the number 1 enemy of Bharat is Ravan, the one who made you so degraded. When Ravan's kingdom begins, devotion begins. In the night of Brahma, people on the path of devotion only stumble around. The day of Brahma is the stage of ascent, and the night of Brahma is the stage of descent. The Father says, now conquer this Maya Ravan. The Father gives you Srimat for you to become elevated. Beloved children, remember me, your Father. There is no other way to become a conqueror of sin. You children are being liberated from stumbling around on the path of devotion. The night is coming to an end and the day is about to dawn. The day means happiness and the night means sorrow. This is a play about happiness and sorrow. The Father tells you all of these secrets and makes you Trikaldarshi. Then, it depends on how much effort each of you makes. You have to know the seed and the tree. The Father says, children, there is now little time remaining. It is sung. 1 moment, half a moment. Continue to remember the Father and also increase your chart. Check to what extent you follow Srimat and you remember Baba. The Father is the one who teaches us, but we do have to make effort. The Father is the one who inspires us to make effort. He loves you anyway. He continues to say, child, child. All souls are his children, and so Brahma Kumaris and Kumaris are brothers and sisters. You receive the inheritance from the grandfather, Dada. You, God's children, have now become Brahmins through the mouth of Prajapita Brahma. You will then go into the deity clan. This is clear. The soul understands that Shiv Baba is my father. I am a star, and so my father would also be a star. Souls are not bigger or smaller. Baba is also a star, but he is the supreme. We children call him Father. Such a tiny soul has all the knowledge. It isn't that God has such power that he would break down walls. The Father says, I only come in order to teach you Raja Yoga once again. The Father is obedient to the children. In the world outside, a father surrenders himself to his children. Therefore, who is greater, the father or the children? The father gives everything to the children, but nevertheless the child is younger, and so he has to have regard, brackets for the father. Here too, the father surrenders himself to you children and gives you the inheritance, and so the children are greater. However, you still have to have regard for the father. It is the children who first have to surrender to the father. Only then will the father surrender himself to you 21 times. You surrender something or other. On the path of devotion, they always give something or other in the name of God, and Baba then gives them the return of that. Here, it is a matter of the unlimited. You said, "When you come, we will surrender ourselves to you." The time has now come, and that is why Baba asks you this question. How many children do you have? You then consider Shiv Baba too to be your child. So, tell me, which child will benefit you? Brackets, someone said Shiv Baba. Therefore, you should make him your heir, shouldn't you? The time will come when no one will be there for your cremation. Therefore the father says, renounce everything, including your own bodies. Become trustees and continue to follow Srimat. He continues to give you directions and serves you in order to make you into the masters of heaven. I am altruistic. Only the one Father, the bestower of salvation for all, is altruistic and ever pure. The Father says, children, become my helpers. To become my helper means to become your own helper. Acha. To the sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the Mother, the Father, Bap Dada. The spiritual Father says, Namaste to the spiritual children. Essence Vedana. 1. Be constantly concerned about yourself. Be concerned to have your sins burnt away. Don't involve yourself in questions about other matters. In order to transform your sanskars, stay in the furnace of yoga. 2. Renounce everything, including your body. Become a full trustee and follow Srimat. Have full regard for the Father and become his helper. Blessing. May you become free from any bondage of karma and be victorious over anger and arrogance by finishing any rite of the consciousness of mine. When you think you have a rite of mine, thinking, why did you do this? Or, this is mine, there is then anger, arrogance, or attachment. So, think, this one is my service companion, not someone over whom I have a right of mine. When someone is not mine, there is then no anger, attachment, or bondage of karma. So, in order to become free from any bondage of karma, Make the One Father your world. One Father and none other. When the One Father has become your world, there is then no attraction or bondage of weak sanskars. All of mine is merged in the one My Father. Slogan: A Master Almighty Authority uses every virtue and power according to the time. Om Shanti.